This is Katie.
And this is Derrick.
Welcome to the Break Room.
Yo, welcome to the Break Room. The Break Room is a podcast where we talk about all the teacher secrets. Ironically, we said a pre-conversation about Teacher T.
Lady Whistledown. Absolutely.
Lady Whistledown. And so this is what I want us to do over the next 10 minutes or so. I want you to introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, how you got into teaching, and maybe just a quick recap on the year. We'll go this way.
All right. Patrick Sutton Cannon. I teach at FD Moon. Okay. Got into teaching through Teach for America in 2016. Came to Oklahoma, and I really enjoyed here.
Where are you from?
LA originally, but I lived all over.
Really?
I'm a world traveler.
Where in LA?
Inglewood. I claim Inglewood. I'll be honest.
Come on, Issa Rae?
Yeah, I'll claim Inglewood, even though it's on the verge of 96 and Western.
Don't they say I would? Like, isn't that the
Inglewood up to no good is a familiar phrase. I would, yeah. That's
how do they say Inglewood up to no good?
Yeah.
They say like Inglewood up to no good.
Inglewood. Inglewood.
It's hilarious.
You gotta put like little Southern California like little slang on it. Little ice cube.
Yeah.
Little ice cube.
And you're throwing up things you have no idea. Looks like peace signs.
Like that. I don't personally. I don't do that.
Peace signs.
Yeah.
We want peace.
Bow, 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 bow.
Yeah.
Wait, what song was that?
Boom, turn around and see that everybody go bum, bum, bum. Come on,
It's so I had to say this with the new hair. You guys know it's new hair. Someone said today, what do they call you?
Cisco.
Of course. I just really respond for a black blonde.
I love black blondes.
A black blonde is great.
It feels like you just added confidence on top. It was like, I'm walking into the room. Notice.
And that's the thing.
What's up?
Yeah.
I'm here.
I'm taking up space.
I love that. Take it up.
Space.
Take up space. Not on this moment, though, because he's on
I'm
the
on the
wall.
wall. But you can have my space. I will yield my space to you.
I appreciate this.
No problem. I just listened to a podcast that said, take up space, black man.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I tell my husband that all the time.
Really?
You have
Oh,
to.
yeah.
Take up space.
Noted.
Oh, yeah. I've literally watched him grow.
Do you take up space, black woman?
Say that again?
Do you take up space, black woman?
Oh, I live in taking up space. I've owned that for a while, though.
You do take up space, like in a great way.
I try not to do it in a negative way.
No, but
I will say
I take notice of you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't like awkward silence.
You have an indelible mark on every room you walk in.
Wow.
He's my work husband. He has to say that.
Okay, all right.
It is true. Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. But he straight up like talks me into, we're here.
Yeah. I love that.
My husband's not jealous or anything, so it's great.
Well, it should be. Well, because you leave
He
him at
loves
work.
him too.
You leave him at work. You don't leave him at work. He's a work husband.
Yeah, they cool, so that's good.
We live in different edges of the city.
Yeah,
Metro,
yeah.
It's fine.
Metro. Well, like Yukon and
Edmond, Bethany, it's fine. It's
I'm Edmund, he's Bethany, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to assume who was who.
Why Bethany? Give me that. Why the face of? I'm not.
I make that face
LA.
with Bethany too.
Why Bethany is getting that face?
Well, Bethany's like really far out. One is just
It's
like
not though.
Well, for me, because everything central is like east side, north.
You're almost Yukon, bro.
Yeah, you're far out.
It's
baby.
so
No, I'm like a
west.
good
It's so
jump
west.
from
2 miles from Yukon.
30 minutes.
2 miles.
It's 2 miles from Yukon. That's right.
When I first moved here, I will say I used to live on 16th and Culbertson, so East Drive and Culbertson. So I love the East Side. So let's not get it messed up. I do rock for the East Side.
However,
but Bethany, I got a whole house, 2 bedrooms for renting and front backyard. So
He likes Bethany.
I do like Bethany. It's very diverse.
If we like it, we love
There's a Mexican
it.
restaurant down the street, walking distance from my house.
Now that's
He's a taco truck kind of guy. He loves a good taco truck. That's around Bethany.
I love some good birria. Post office. I love why we walk to the post office and to the library and to the YMCA. It's a great town.
Sorry, we have to keep introducing. You stopped at Inglewood.
No, wait.
I'm sorry. I took up a lot of space.
I love that for
Let's
you.
go around.
I want to circle back though, like, because this is very interesting to me. I love tacos so much that I don't use the accent. You said I like the Barrera.
Oh, birria. Birria is like a meat style. It's a barbecue style.
No, I know what it is, but you just sped through all the accents and all the.
You know.
He was like, I like the asada.
I like
I have a 28-day streak on Duolingo. I don't like the slander. This is not fair.
I'm trying.
It's not fair at all. It's not fair at all.
Clear it up.
I don't appreciate
also, he's been
it.
attacked. He's kind of sensitive right now because he just wrote speeches for our graduation.
Okay.
People don't like my words, apparently.
He's a wordy guy in the best way. Like, he is.
Yeah, whenever someone says in the best way, it's always in the worst way.
It's not the worst way. I can confirm that those were excellent speeches. However, they were speeches that you would say. And so, like, I don't know
for other adults.
Oh.
I think for a certain the adult audience that they were speaking to.
Lyndon was the person that like kind of ad lib, and he's good at ad libbing.
He was perfect to do that.
But me personally, if I was on stage, I would need a good script to say to people.
Same. The catch was, and the joke was, monumentous.
Momentous, actually.
Momentous?
Was it momentous?
Monumentous is not a word, I don't believe. But momentous is.
I feel like, I don't know, well, let's look that up later. Whatever.
English teacher.
Monumentous.
Wait, you
why did I say that?
You would need a script?
Oh, yeah, I like scripts.
You don't feel scripted.
And I feel like you're equal.
Well, no, when it comes to public speaking in that way, I think I over perfection. I need, I don't know, I kind of go in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're equally word bougie as I am. And so I don't understand why it's coming from you.
I am, except you just corrected me on monumentous, so we'll discuss that later.
But you said we'll look it up later.
Yeah, that's why I shut it down. Okay. But that's why I shut it down.
She never actually acknowledged that I said that.
We tried to push it. You did say it right, though.
That's
yeah, I did.
Absolutely.
What was the other word, though, you
I
said?
understood that, but I knew it was right.
This is a work marriage conversation.
It is.
I love this one.
You guys are just witnessing.
I know, this is
People
great.
have to do this. The other day, we got the same thing in there. And the principal
called me babe in the PLC. That was insane. Excuse me, that was wild. In PLC,
okay,
it was and we had a whole.
I am newly married.
Three principals in there at one time.
It was so uncomfortable. I started sweating.
He was
I did not mean to do that.
White was like, babe, you got to let me finish. And I was like, don't let your work friends get you in trouble.
Okay, what happened was, the principal said, "Are you guys married?" And we were like,
after the fact, you called me
for
babe.
Sure. No, this was before, and then
I have a good memory.
It just was locked in my head. It was so much going on. They're all looking at me to say what's going on for our whole day, and it was just a moment. And I just had I'm talking to my husband moment of let me do this.
Yeah, okay, I get that totally.
Yeah. So babe just came out. Yeah.
It was funny though.
It was funny. We played it off because, of course. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, he's done, actually. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Introduction, who you are, and then a little bit about how you got into teaching, and what do you enjoy about it?
Okay, my name is Kyra Nolan. I'm at Douglas High School. I teach.
Cute. I like her.
9th grade English, English 1. I love it. It's been fun. It's my second year into teaching, first year teaching English, so I'm really new to the content. That's probably one of my most struggles. I feel like classroom management got it down, relationships got it down, but it's the content that I'm trying to learn that. So next year I'm going to be great.
Absolutely,
you're great this year.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
While you walk out,
yes, take up space. Okay,
take up space.
Take up space. Yes. So yes, how I got into teaching. My last year, my degree's in psychology. My last year, I had to take some extra credits. I was like, oh, let me do intro to education because it will be just a little light credit. I don't have to worry about it. No, it was a really tough course. I had to go to observe and everything. I was like, wait, I didn't know I was going to do this, but I loved it. I was like, this is education? I'm like, oh man, this is my last semester, y'all. I'm getting the degree, in psychology. But anyway, I ended up starting as a Head Start teacher, and then I did that. I loved it. And then becoming a high school teacher just fell in my lap. So I was like, well, I'll try. And if I don't, then I'll just stop, And I love it. I absolutely love teaching. It's fun. It's natural. I'm a very instinctual teacher. So I enjoy it. I love it.
That's good.
Yay,
did your
that's
godfather
amazing.
influence you to become a teacher in any way?
No, I don't
you were a teacher.
I was not a teacher.
Oh.
I feel like maybe his
Canon?
mentoring style.
Oh, go ahead.
Mentoring style. His mentoring style definitely how he talked to me, how he raised me is how I do my students. If he's gonna meet any of my students, he's gonna see himself in my students because he should see himself in me.
I've been around kids in the classroom, but not as a teacher. And so for about 3 years, me and a guy named Taylor Doe went around the East Side. Tito, shout out to Tito. We went around East Side. We did like hot seat assemblies, and we did leadership with students. And so we were in Thelma Parks, MLK. We were in Moon. It was a middle school with Warren Pete. We were just in the schools all the time. And so being in the schools, you just run across people, because oftentimes people don't like leave the East Side. They kind of stay and rotate from school to school. Anyhow, Patrice, then Allen, now Cannon, I knew her about 5 years ago. She transitioned out of being a principal into an instructional principal coach, and then in the principal at Moon. And so I've just followed her everywhere she went, supported her vision, helped her students in her classroom and her teachers, tried to support everything that she's doing. So that's how I know her. And I met this young one years ago through church, and our families just kind of overlapped. And she has a sister, and I was talking to my wife one day, and I was like, man, we really like them. And so we just kind of brought him in, and
nice. I love that.
Yeah, and so
it was like a later in life Godfather situation.
Yes, I picked them. Yeah, I picked my parents didn't pick them. These are my godparents. I told my mama like
we were not assigned godparentship. They told us we were their godparents. Even gave us
that's the beautiful thing about
gave
church.
us Spanish names, by the way.
Yeah, Padrino.
Oh, not Padrino. I love that.
All right, last but not least,
Not Padrino. You're right.
I heard that. I heard the end of that.
It's okay.
Okay.
Wait. Name, how you got into education, and then a little bit about why you love it or enjoy it.
Okay, so hi all.
Hi.
I am Lauren
we know
White.
you already.
Do you?
I know a lot about you.
I am Lauren White, aka Mrs. White. It feels like I hear that all the time. Every time.
White.
Whew. They say it all the time. White. Nonetheless, I got an education in the most
Can I stop you?
peculiar. Yes, please.
Why did you choose? Is it your maiden name?
No, actually, my maiden name is Green.
Why did you choose to take? Because that feels
take White.
Uh-huh.
You know what's interesting is we talked about this. Like, he found out that his grandfather, his original last name wasn't White, and he actually like searched high and low to figure out what his biological last name was, because he did not want White. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter. It's White now.
Yeah.
We in there now. Like, I just owned it. And it's also kind of clever because my last name formerly was Green.
Yeah.
As of a year ago.
Keep it in the color palette.
It was just a great wedding hashtag.
White and greens look good together.
Hashtag from white to green, from green to white. From green to white. Get it? Like white
nice,
dress,
green, right?
nobody
Green,
else?
right? Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's nice.
So yes, I'm Lauren White, and I did not hyphenate, and I kept his name.
Yep.
And I got an education in the most peculiar way. I actually lived in New York for 10 years, right after college.
What part?
Manhattan. So, I started off in Washington Heights.
You in New York?
Oh, yeah. That was the whole thing. Yeah. I went and worked on a cruise ship, and then I moved to New York.
How long were you on the cruise ship?
I was on the cruise ship for 8 months.
Okay.
Yeah. Disney cruise. Yeah. It was interesting, but I worked with children.
Yeah.
And I was also a performer. And I loved working with children.
So many questions.
But I know. And I knew when I was going to say this.
I know,
this is
I
the
have
thing.
so many questions.
I still keep this on my resume because people literally go in, oh my God, Disney?
Disney.
And then I just like, I got you already.
Yeah.
You're in.
You're in
now. You want me already. So I just got bored with like broadcast journalism, and that was my degree. We talked about that before. And I wanted something different. And I was performing in high school so much. I didn't take that route in college, but I kind of fell back into it after college in the route of working on the cruise ship. Right. So worked on the cruise ship, was like, oh God, I miss performance arts. I miss theater. I miss all of that. So I decided to take a job in Connecticut that then moved me to New York.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. That was a lot of steps, but that was my life. While in New York, I learned so much about myself, including that I did not want to be a performer anymore. Like that was not actually...
Everybody performing something in New York.
Yeah, I mean...
Were you Lower Manhattan?
Was not, no, upper, okay. Like way upper. So Inwood was where I started. 215.
Oh, you were upper.
To afford, it was Bethany of Oklahoma. I just mean it was really far out.
All the way around.
Great price for square footage.
Okay. It was though. Great price for a square foot. Honestly, safe neighborhood, way far from the city.
Yeah.
And the train ride wasn't great. Kind of far, but it's fine.
It's really far. I've been up there.
So 215. Then I moved down a little bit further. I was like, okay, I'm getting some money now. So I moved down a little bit to around 145th Street, and that was great, which is Harlem. So it was great though. I loved my time in New York, but then it was time to go. Yeah. It's time to come back home. So I came back home, and I was kind of like, okay, what do I want to do? I'm not interested in the performance arts piece. I'm not interested in theater. How can I make a full circle of it? And my dad just kept saying, my dad, who's the pastor, blah, 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 who kept saying, you need to go teach. Like, you need to be a teacher. You really need to. Then he was like, you need to lead. Okay, just lead some summer vacation Bible school this year, whatever. Take the middle school kids. And I'm like, okay, Dad, all right, fine, whatever. I take him. I freaking love it. Mm-hmm. And then this job posting comes up for FD Moon. And I went in, applied.
Work husband, I did not know that story.
This is amazing.
I
didn't know the summer Bible camp thing. That's wild.
I actually said that in my interview too. I was like, I just did Vacation Bible School, and I realized that our kids can't read. So I need to get on the ground floor. What do I need to do? Yeah. They can't read. What's going on? Yeah. How's their writing skills? I was so curious and was like, we got to change this. Right. So, and that's actually folded into a lot of the things I've been actually doing at Moon, which is weird because it feels like we were like, no, we should just settle for rags. It's okay. And I am not okay with that. I'm very comfortable with some of that. Not all rags.
I don't like the rags.
Okay. Let's settle for less in a way that we could do more. I do think that there's some pieces of, and this is someone who's from Oklahoma, who knows about the East Side originally. Yeah. And the East Side used to be very prominent. Mm-hmm. It used to be like my grandparents are from there. My mom and dad raised there and have built a beautiful life for themselves. And it used to not be it's cool to just litter. It's cool. It's cool to not take it. I'm just saying, I just want to take us more seriously. And in a way of some of the things that I have put in place in Edmond as a team of people, not just myself, but a team of people. So
you want to say something?
He so badly wanted to correct. Come on in.
I want to give you the space.
I just really don't like language that says black people have less because we accept less.
Did I say that?
That's not what I heard.
Well, okay, I perceived and I received that settling for me has a connotation of this is good enough.
No,
but that is a mentality.
That is a mentality.
Especially on the East Side. Even that is the mentality sometimes.
When we've had more as a people, it's always been taken from us.
Sure, and
so
you're
that
absolutely
becomes
right.
a learned behavior. It's not that you're necessarily settling for that, but you've been taught.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Repetitive action that all you will get is this.
Here's what I'm going to say for us. We could probably speak to this. As a new teacher, we have a new lens on things. There is when you haven't ever taught before, you see things from a fresh lens. I can only speak for myself, but I think you probably have seen this too, where it's no, they can you should have heard some of the things people would say about this yearbook that I recently did, right? Right? With the team of people, okay? They're like, we'll just staple it together. Just staple it together.
2 weeks she did the yearbook.
It was the whole thing.
It was wild. It was amazing.
There's a whole yearbook class. People spend a whole year.
Doing yearbook.
And wait till I show it to you.
I
can't lie. This team of kids worked so hard and so diligently. They were literally Miss White, we want to help.
But that's the thing.
They were so great.
They weren't settling for a non-yearbook. They were then pushed to receive a fantastic yearbook or to create a fantastic.
I was going to say, can it be both? Can it be that some people have settled and some people don't? This is what they learn, and this is all I ever know. So I don't know how to expect more or push for more. Nobody put that. I think it can be equally. I think it can be both. I
just hate putting the onus on the person that's being oppressed.
And you're right. I get what you're saying.
The responsibility on the person that's being oppressed.
But they're active participant. They are part of
in their oppression?
No, I'm saying in all that is happening, as I'm being oppressed, I also am a participant in what I can do. I'm not saying I'm letting people oppress me. I'm saying as I'm being oppressed, I have the option to do some things as well.
If you know that there's an option that's provided, less versus less. What he is saying, I see what you're saying. Yeah. My point wasn't that though. You went in a different route. All I'm saying is from a new teacher perspective, we see that there are holes in some of the templates that have been laid before us. And they could be better in some ways. And there is a apathetic spirit that comes to the table in some ways. Yes, for teachers who have been doing it for many years. Yeah.
Yes, that's
Sorry.
But even if, because like, let's say if I as a new teacher, I start out and I'm like, yes, I can do this. But even they tell you when I at my last school, I was at my last school, they were like, basically, don't get in here trying to change the system. You need to get in here and you need to do this, you need to do that. And I understand, which is like, okay, maybe because they tried to push for something and got shot down, so they feel like this is, I can't push for anything. But to me, it's like, I made a decision. I think even like my life, living on the east side, all these situations that happened to me, if I didn't have Mr. Derrick in my life, I had to choose to say, this is what my family is doing, and I will not. I will not. So even, and then I can show my mom.
Society?
Well, elaborate.
Yeah,
why do we live in a society where we are participating in a society to create a system that should assist us all to grow, right? Mm-hmm. If it's on you,
not only
if it's on, but what you shared was that it was on you to make the connection.
She actually
that's
said
not what she said.
If she hadn't met,
love to finish.
That's not, okay,
right.
Go ahead.
What I heard you say, you tell me if I heard you wrong.
Okay.
What I heard you say was that you had to find Mr. Derrick to be able to utilize him as a resource to build yourself up. If we live in a society in which we all participate in, we should have these systems in place that are to assist the people and help them grow, right? The onus shouldn't be on the individual to be the best that is ever to know, the East Side has ever known.
You just proved our point.
Tell me how.
I think you did.
You literally just said it in way more vocabulary. No, you don't. You said it in less just top of the dome way. That's who he is. Mm-hmm. He's analytical in his speaking, and that's why we love him.
That's great.
However, we just said that. She said in finding Mr. Derrick, he showed me some different ways. He opened my eyes to things, essentially. Like, it wasn't a bad thing. What you're saying is absolutely true.
But not everyone has a Mr. Derrick in their life.
Yes, they do.
And so what is the support for the people that don't have that? Why are we in a society if the people have to find one individual?
And it's interesting that you are now,
and if they don't come across that individual, then they're SOL.
It's interesting now you're in a new position where it's your job to sort of be a gatekeeper for who walks in the door as a new teacher.
And so the onus isn't on the child then. The onus isn't on the community. The onus is on the system adopting people to change the system, right? That's what we're doing here.
But even the system, at some level, the child has to participate. Yeah. They have to be an active participate in their learning, in their maturation. I can't put my arms down the sleeve of a student and write down their things. They have to be an active participant in their grades, in their sports, in their learning, in their maturation.
And I understand this idea of the system and my husband does this all the time. I get what you mean by the system and the system of oppression and what it looks like, especially for us. I get it. My thing is, as teachers, we're on the ground floor of being able to say, like, yes, this exists, but also, like, open your mind. Get what is the vision? Mm-hmm. How do you imagine? What does the imagination look like? Mm-hmm. These are options for you. Have you ever been to a beach before? Mm-hmm. Some of my kids have never seen a beach, have never seen a lake, have never seen things that they just didn't know existed. Mm-hmm. So while it is a systematic problem, absolutely, you are now the gatekeeper for FD Moon to get to decide that there are new teachers like us who are enthusiastic about saying, with our new lens, hey, there's some holes here. And that's okay. That's okay. Just to circle it all back around.
I will say they have provided drinks to us. So if I've lost the thread of what I was originally taking grievance with.
I provided lots of drinks for these.
Okay, so
we only had one.
Tequila is the alcohol that I prefer.
Your point is valid.
Your point is valid.
But I think more so what I was taking grievance was the word apathetic and the word settled. I don't like.
I apologize.
I don't like using words with such heavy connotations on people that are oppressed.
I get it. And you're right.
And everything else, I'll accept what you said outside of that, but just those words hurt.
And I apologize, because I get why those are trigger words. And I don't want to place those on as a community blanketly. Yeah. Like, that's not all of us, obviously. we bust our asses, all of us. Yeah. Like, especially to pour into these students daily.
Kids are born into their circumstances, and it's not 100%. They don't settle for anything.
And so I actually wasn't referring to the kids. I was more so referring to
But I think
education.
that in the conversation, when I think of education, I automatically think kids.
Okay, so I'm thinking
those are inextricable for me.
System.
And I'm thinking of the decision makers in education that are pouring into our babies.
Yeah. See, okay, there we go. Communication is important.
Okay.
That's good.
That makes sense. Sorry.
All right, we made our way around the table. I think that was a really good conversation.
I do.
I know.
Okay, look at that's fantastic.
That's good. That's good. And this is what I like about community, because like when I work with kids, I often say that what I say sometimes is not what's heard. Right. And an activity that I do with my kids is I say, hey, when I say sandwich, I really wish there was something above your head that popped up like a big bubble. Mm-hmm. And I wish I could see what you think of when I say the word sandwich, right? Because what I think of is 2 cheap pieces of white bread, like the bologna that's like beef, chicken, and pork. I think of like the American cheese is in the plastic. It's not even like this. I think of mayonnaise, and I think like when you fry that bologna, it puffs up in the middle and you got to cut it to make it go down. And then when you bite it, it like sticks to the roof of your mouth. Like I think that's
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I literally just thought City Bites.
I thought peanut butter and jelly.
You know what
I thought Subway.
And so I said sandwich.
Disgusting.
So I said sandwich, and everybody in the room thought something different.
There is a strong onion in there.
And so you said we said settle. Yeah. We said settle, and around the room, we thought something different, right? Yeah. But I don't know that we ever get to how people feel about a thing unless we come to the table and talk and hear.
I agree.
And I think that's an example of what happened here today. So thank you all for hanging out in the break room.
This
I really appreciate it. Yeah. I gotta say,
like every podcast ever. It was so dope.
It was so dope. This is so fun. This is good.
This was so much fun.
I do want to make a simple connection before we leave. I love meeting performers. You have a performance.
Do I? I really have tried to work that out of my life.
Well, I just want to say you are in the room with another performer as well.
Yes.
Who loves the stage, loves the spotlight, loves writing, loves singing, loves acting. And so I
know that.
Yeah. And so ever since she was younger, I remember her 16th birthday party was a themed birthday party, and it was like Old English, and like everybody
what a great theme.
Dressed up, and they had these big chairs on stage that they sat in, and everybody like paid tribute or something.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
The invitations were like scrolls.
Yeah.
Oh, you got into it too.
Yeah.
Oh, was this around the time of like the actual Sweet 16 TV show?
Yeah.
It seems like that kind of elaborate. It was like that kind of elaborate.
They didn't get a car though. They didn't get a car.
No, East Side.
I definitely had a Sweet 16.
Did you have a Sweet 16? We threw my daughter a 16, and she's going to have one fabulous 18th. We just threw a graduation party. It was pretty nice.
And her major is going to be theater, right?
It's vocal performance with an emphasis in education.
Thank God she has a backup.
Yeah. She wants to do both.
No, I'm very serious.
She's serious as well.
Just get a bachelor's, you'll be fine. No matter what it's in, you can always do TFA.
Journalism.
I have a girlfriend she's a fantastic singer. I mean, like sick. Yeah. We both moved to New York around the same time. With that, she's in the 6-figure job now that is totally different than performance and has nothing to do with it. Yeah. I encourage, if you do a theater degree, vocal performance, anything like that, have a backup plan. That's all.
And this is what I love about community theater is that when you get in a room on the weekend after nights, you're in the room with people who are not performing for a living, and they have like real jobs. Yeah. And so because you also have real jobs, that does not mean that you cannot participate in theater and performance. I think that's so important. If you're listening to this podcast right now and you're thinking about like quitting your day job to go for theater, I would encourage you to pause. And just think about it. Because you can have it.
Teacher.
No, go get a trade.
Perform every day.
Go get a trade.
Get a trade.
Teaching.
Go to trade school at night. Go to OCCC or go to a community college. Get a trade.
But whatever you do, I think there's an opportunity to participate in theater and performance after your day job. So that's it. Anyhow, thanks for hanging out in the break room. We appreciate everybody. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.